Today, election season officially comes to a close across Georgia. In 1 hour, polls will open for voters to cast their ballots in the Senate runoff race.
This is one of the most closely watched races all across the country. Incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock is fighting to stay in Washington to represent Georgia, while his challenger, Herschel Walker, is trying to get there. This morning, we have live team coverage as we get you ready to cast your ballot. 11
Alive's Jerry Carnes in studio breaking down the data for us on the big board. But let's kick things off with Ariana Maniz, who is breaking down the candidates' final push to rally those votes. Ariana.
Yeah, good morning. Today is a day where Georgia voters will decide whether Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock will continue serving Georgia in the U.S. Senate, or if his Republican challenger Herschel Walker will take on the job. On Monday, we saw Warnock campaigning in Fulton County, which is an area he performed well in during the November race. And Walker also spent his final day campaigning on friendly turf, stumping in small towns across North Georgia. The race has gained so much national attention because the balance of the U.S. Senate is on the line, and turnout will determine who wins today, which is why both candidates' last message to their supporters is simply to head out to the polls. Take a listen.
I need you to vote and tell everybody in your circle to vote like it is an emergency.
I'm not going to sleep tonight because before a big game, I don't sleep because I'm ready. So I want y'all to get ready.
In less than an hour, this race will be in the hands of voters, where polls will open at 7 a.m. and we'll start seeing people lining up at polling locations like the one behind me. But so far, a lot of people have already turned out to vote. 1.8 million people participated in early voting. Back to you.
And they did that in just 5 days of early voting this time. Ariana, thank you. Jerry Carnes continues our Election Day team coverage, standing by with a deeper dive into the candidate support, really county by county. Jerry.
Good morning, Cheryl. Right now, our county-by-county map for today is blank, all zeros, until we start getting some of the vote count in. But we can look back to the results from the November vote and see the areas that we need to focus on. The areas you see here in red went for Herschel Walker in November. The areas in blue went for Raphael Warnock. Most of Warnock's support came in metropolitan areas like Metro Atlanta, DeKalb County. Big supporter of Raphael Warnock at 84% of the vote going his way. Clayton County, especially behind Warnock, 87% of the vote going his way there. Of course, Herschel Walker had his areas of Metro Atlanta that got his support. Walker won Cherokee County with 67% of the vote. Forsyth County went for Herschel Walker with 64% of the vote. I've said this a couple of times this morning. I'm going to keep repeating it because Fayette County, intrigues me. Walker won that with 50.3% of the vote. Warnock got 47.2% of the vote. They're extremely close race there, so turnout there could be extremely important. There are other areas of Georgia where the race was very close. Our heat map shows us, you see the different shades of red and blue. The lighter the color, the closer the race, and you can see there were several parts of our counties that were very, very close races. So coming up in the next half hour, we'll take a closer look at those and see some areas where maybe one candidate could take it where the other did in November. Back to you.
All right, Jerry, thank you. It is going to be an interesting ride today. We want to make sure you are prepared for the polls today. Here are a few things election officials want you to keep in mind. The Secretary of State's office suggests verifying your polling place. You have to go to your exact polling place today. You can do so by heading to My Voter page to find your spot. This is also a resource for you to view a sample ballot. You also want to make sure you have a state-issued photo ID with you.
And a reminder, many school districts are virtual today because of the runoff. Take a look. This impacts all major Metro Atlanta school districts, including Cobb and Gwinnett, just to name a few. Many of the schools are polling places, so students will learn from home. 11 Alive wants to make sure you have all that you need heading into the election, and then all the information when we know the results. Text the word runoff to the number on your screen, 404-885-7600. You can also visit 11alive.com.